Hey everybody, this is a story that such that I felt like it was necessary to add a vlog and give some real perspective to because it's only been presented in articles used to smear my friend Matt Horn, and but then it involves people, one person I don't know, the other person I've known for a very long time and have the utmost love and respect for, and so this has become an Oakland story as far as I'm concerned. And I think it's important to have some perspective. It has to do with Matt Horn, my friend who is a founder of Horn Barbecue. And a call I got from him, he was really anguished because he didn't know Matt's trying to revive his Horn Barbecue, trying to keep Matty, Soul Fashion, and Colbert together, and had asked me to assist him in boosting content to promote the restaurants, and even then that wasn't like something he started doing immediately. It took about a year for us to um, really sit down and connect because he was all over the place, and over that time we became deep friends because he had some very deep personal family problems regarding death and health. Okay. And it just seems like he was on a massive roller coaster. And in turn, he and I have a mutual friend. So he's like a brother to me. And I felt like I had to step in and say something because there are too many people just writing things and there's nobody talking. Nobody. And it's just very alarming. So, from what I understand, okay, first of all, uh, Matt Horn, as you know, started his pop up in 2019. It grew rapidly. And by 2020, became Horn Hospitality Group with a wonderful facility on Peralta. And there's a person whose attention somehow Matt attracted. And that gentleman was named Dave Kim. Uh, and Dave is he's a theologian. He's a person who has acquired some fame in his associations with people like Tavis Smiley and Cornel West. He has a his bio says that he is the founding director of the GTU's Center for Values and Ethics and Culture, and distinguished visiting professor, the Graduate Theological Union, and Stanford. And so it says that, excuse me, it's no, not Stanford. Okay. And he says he is a philosopher of religion and scholar of radical love and multiracial democracy. And from 2019, he was a senior advisor and fellow at the Center for Comparative Studies in Race and Ethnicity at Stanford University. And then it goes on to say that Dr. Kim spent nearly 2 decades at Connecticut College as a professional of religious studies and American studies. His honors include fellowships at the inaugural visiting professor, as the inaugural visiting professor of the humanities at Brown University and visiting scholar at the Annenberg School for Communications at the University of Pennsylvania. Dr. Kim has taught at Harvard, Brown, and Union Theological Seminary. Then it goes on to report he's published widely in religious studies, theology, political theory, and race and ethnic studies, and that Dr. Kim is the author of Melancholic Freedom, which I did see his interview with Tavis Smiley about that some years ago. Spirit of Politics and co-editor of the Post-Secular in Question. He is also co-editor of the Stanford University Press series on race and religion. This is all leading to a point, okay? From 2009 2012, he was senior advisor to the Social Science Research Council's program on religion in the public sphere, and was also editor at large of the Eminent Frame. He is co-founder of the Low Driven Politics Collective a group of scholars, artists, and social justice activists dedicated to responding to the political evil, acrimony, anger, and cynicism of our times by cultivating a common politics animated by compassion, generosity, and mercy. His current book project is The Public Life of Love. He says he's a highly regarded consultant entrepreneur, and he writes that this bio writes that he has advised efforts at major companies such as Vanguard Investments, IBM, and Parliament Incorporated. And note this, that he is founder and principal of Radical Love Productions, LLC, and president of the Horn Hospitality Group. This is what he writes. A Bay Area restaurant venture that includes Oakland's Horn Barbecue and Cold Bird Chicken. With a center of values and ethics and culture, Dr. Kim is leading the GTU's collaborations with corporate and institutional partners in the Bay Area and nationally. And then CVEC will create an innovative curriculum for companies, organizations, and professionals poised to undertake equitable and justice-focused cultural transformation. Okay? Does this sound like the kind of guy that will file a lawsuit against you? Well, he did. All right. And so, from what I understand in talking with Matt, and from what I've heard from other people, first of all, David Kim was never considered president of Horn Barbecue. That's the first thing. He's got this emblazoned on his what I just read, to you about him. You have to see it in black and white. He's got it presented right here in this dealie. And excuse me for a second. The business of a caregiver never ends. As I was saying, uh, take a look at his bio. All right, you got to see this because it really points a finger. We really, it says here, right here. All right, take a look at this. You got to see this. All right. That's not what I want you to see. That's not what I want to show. That one. Let me go this here, and then like that, and right there. Okay. What I just read to you here is in this paragraph. All right. And I'm going to highlight where, right here, president of the Horn Hospitality Group, a Bay Area venture includes Oakland's Horn Barbecue and Cold Bird Chicken. All right. And then this is him. This is Mr. Kim up here. All right. That's him. Okay. So that's where I got it from. This is Nate.org. I'll put this in, I'll copy that, and then I'll paste this. Okay. Over here, or just search for his name, right? David Kyuman Kim, Horn Barbecue. You'll find it. Okay. So anyway, why would this guy file a lawsuit? But that's what he did. Now, again, as I was saying, what I've gotten back from people is that David sort of, well, the term would be ingratiated himself uh, upon that. And as a fan of Horn Barbecue, that was the way he presented himself, as I understand it. I haven't talked to Mr. Kim. And to ingratiate is to, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is to bring oneself into favor with someone by flattering or trying to please them. A social climber who's tried to ingratiate herself with city gentry, okay? That's essentially what he did. And Matt gave him equity in the company, 5%, from what I understand. And this is not documentation, okay? But according to how he's described by those involved with Horn, he didn't do anything. He came in, apparently he was there as a kind of a good time guy, have the banter and everything, and then be there with the wine and booze and, ready and willing chap who wants to go golfing with you, affable sort. But his claim to fame with respect to Horn Barbecue had nothing to do with theology or religion. It had to do with his alleged, contacts in the city of Oakland, where he could get him investors and so on. And apparently, a text message. Now, I haven't read the court case. This is conversation, but apparently, a text message between the pair of them was the basis for this promise or this payment. Now, here's what I'm getting at. There's a lot of minutia here, but this is what I'm getting at. Okay. If Mr. Kim, this guy, all right, if this guy is such the religion's person who understands race and ostensibly the plight of black men and black business and has an African American female partner, right? Why would he then go and take it upon himself to put Matt Horn in a position where he would owe him a lot of money and he wanted money from him, as opposed to the classic position that a person takes with a company where they either put money into it. David Kim didn't put money into it. He made promises he could get money, but he didn't put money into it. All right. And then realize, hey, they maybe have cash flow problems. And so I'm not going to be the instrument of their destruction. All right. By contrast, David Kim is being the instrument of his destruction. Now, it sounds to me like to basically kind of also say, hey, maybe Matt didn't handle certain things properly. It sounds like he didn't directly address the communication. And that's where, when you get into situations like this, as painful as they are to deal with, you have to turn the pain to pleasure and enjoy telling your side of the story. Because if you let somebody else tell their side of the story about you, then you wind up looking like somebody else wants you to look rather than how you look. And that's the situation that Matt is in. Okay. But all I know is we all are acquainted with each other, except I don't know Mr. Kim. All right. I don't at all. I don't even know that we crossed paths. The last time that I saw Aimee was at a Raiders game with her beau Mitch. And that was, I believe, I want to say 2015, obviously before the Raiders left for, Las Vegas, right? And Aimee, I regard, I have the highest regard for to this day, a person who should be an elected official in Oakland, and ran twice against Pat Kernahan for the District 2 City Council seat, lost twice, unfortunately. And And I think then went on to start her nonprofit, She the People, which gained some fame. But I haven't seen her of late with it. Uh, I know she got some great positions on speaking roles with MSNBC regarding politics and the Democratic Party, and like, and with me, we this is how far back we go. I'll show you. Right here. There. This is 17 years ago. Okay.
My name's Aimee Allison. I'm running for City Council in Oakland and District 2, which is the area that is all around the Grand Lake area, East Lake, Haddon Hill, China Hill, San Antonio. It's literally the heart of Oakland, and it spans the richest folks who live in Upper Crocker Highlands at the Piedmont border to the poorest folks who live 10 in a room down in Lower San Antonio. It's also the highest percentage of LGBT households in Oakland and the highest number of lesbian households in the country. It's a place that represents 24 languages. It is the center of diversity and progressivism really in the country. And I'm running because we must make in our local government and our priorities, the government to support the same kinds of progressive values that put people, communities, and families and children ahead of corporate profits.
And I'm gonna stop it right there because this is about corporate profits. Okay. So her partner is doing something really wild, and it should speak against his better nature. But then, I discovered he lives with Aimee. They live just 3 minutes from me in Adams Point area. Okay. Well, they're actually on the other side of it. I'm in Adams Point. They're in the area just up from Grand Lake Theater. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I read off his bio. He's doing all this. So you think he's the rich dude, right? And he's describing himself as the Harvard dilettante, the Harvard specialist, the Harvard consultant, the Harvard trained expert against, apparently, he said in writing, against a barbecue guy, which, can take on a really racist tone if you start thinking about it. All right. So who really is David Kim? Why would a guy who claims to be religious, who claims to be all of these things that point to, hey man, you know what? I love you, we'll work it out, which you would think he would say to Matt. Why would that guy, all right, be doing these heavy hitter law firms at Matt Horn, claim he's president when he's not, and Horn Barbecue says he's not, and tries to ingratiate himself upon Matt. And then in a fit of pique, when Matt says, hey, you know what? This isn't working out for me, get mad and sue him and say, you owe me this money. That's not what a person does who's truly an investor in a company. It's not. I'm not saying that it's not done. Of course it's done. All right. But he claims as a business partner, he was pushed out. And from what is told to me, he came in when Horn Barbecue was already established. He wasn't like the founder. He's not a guy who knows how to make barbecue. Okay. But why do this? Why would David Kim make it look like he's trying quite literally to steal Matt Horn's company or just wreck him without a thought? Just that's what it looks like. Maybe it isn't that. Maybe it's something, maybe he just feels maybe there's something in there. All right. Whatever the case, I think David realistically what he should do, given all the tragedy Matt Horn has been through, is alter the deal. If he is a Christian man, that's what he ought to do, in my opinion. This is me talking. I mean, everybody might be mad at me for saying it, but we're all family in Oakland. This is another example of people tearing at each other. It's not this, it's, Ray Bobbitt and his AASEG versus Brian Dixon and Kareem Mohammed and their version of it, or Mayor Tao pitting one person against each other, all of which who call themselves progressive, but it's kind of like, well, you got to do this and that, right? I mean, it's real, all this stuff, all this stern and drop. And meanwhile, the ship we call Oakland is doing this. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay? Hey, we're all family here. We got to get back to that. All right? Aimee, I hope you run for office again and reach, your much well-deserved North Star. And remember, I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning for you, okay, and took you to Glide Memorial, Aimee, so you could give your speeches when you were running for office and all that stuff. And I did all this, for you, okay? And you know what? You were married too. I didn't even know it. It's like, wait a minute, you're married? What? Um, but it was fun. It was fun to present you to Cecil Williams and watch you grow and do everything that you're doing. Maybe you can talk to him. I don't know. I just think that a lot of good people are getting hurt here. That doesn't need to happen. Okay, so anyway, I've said my piece. There you go. See you all later.